That shirt isn't staying. Hopefully it stays there now. Bought myself a brand new pair of ripped jeans, put my foot through the rip the first time it ever happened. Like the video if you've ever done that as well. Yes guys, welcome back to the George Benson football channel. Welcome to another Chelsea transfer news video, and we are here with another garishly bright jumper, so apologies if you don't like the colour yellow. On the sofa again, we got three strikers to talk about today. One of them is called GABRIEL Barbosa, also known as Gabigol to the global media at the moment, Moussa Dembele of Lyon, and Edinson Cavani, who Chelsea are supposedly rumoured into bringing into the club, 32-year-old striker from Paris Saint-Germain. We're going to go through all three of these today. We're going to take a look at their qualities, we're going to take a look at what they bring to Chelsea, but before we get into talking about any of these strikers, it's important to remind you guys that I'm not here to be like breaking news that you've not heard anywhere else. I'm simply here to give my opinion on the speculation. What would it do to benefit Chelsea Football Club? Do I think it's possible? And is it something that I personally really want to see? The best thing about this channel, in my opinion, is reading you guys' comments in the comments down below. So let me know what you guys think about Chelsea potentially bringing in one of these three players. Now we're going to go through them all one by one. We're going to start off with the pinky, the little finger, Edinson Cavani. Now this is a striker, Uruguayan, plays for Paris Saint-Germain, Champions League pedigree. This man has bagged in goals for fun during his footballing career. He's even scored against Chelsea in the past and given us a very torrid time both at Stamford Bridge and when we've gone away to Paris Saint-Germain as well. Cavani is a striker who has been within the elite bracket of world strikers for the past 10 years. This season, he's not had the greatest of times. Kylian Mbappe is the new big striker on the block at PSG. Edinson Cavani's only managed 2 goals in 8 appearances in the French league this season, and supposedly Chelsea and Manchester United are both interested in bringing the 32-year-old to the Premier League. Do I think Cavani would be a great fit for the Premier League? Absolutely. I think the man has got an abundance of talent, and in terms of being a mentor for Chelsea's current number 9, Tammy Abraham, having Cavani come in would be a huge thing for the next couple of years. Whether it's 1 year, 18 months or 2 or 3 years, Cavani has still got a lot to offer in my opinion, and I think him coming to Chelsea would do wonders for Tammy Abraham. There's a few different ways of looking at it from Tammy's perspective right now. Whether you're a fan of Tammy or not, I always say on this channel that the overall goal and aspiration is for Chelsea Football Club to succeed. Now if one of these strikers comes in supposedly to back up Tammy Abraham and to be a replacement for Michy Batshuayi and Olivier Giroud, who supposedly are going to be offloaded during this January transfer window, or at least in the summer. If one of these strikers comes in and is doing even better than what we've seen from Tammy Abraham so far this season, which has actually been very good, considering it's his debut Premier League season, well, properly at a loan at Swansea, but it doesn't really count at this point. Tammy Abraham's doing a very good job, but the overall success of Chelsea is the most important thing. So if Tammy Abraham looks at a striker that's coming in during this January transfer window, looks at someone with the pedigree of Edinson Cavani and he's like, don't know about this, I want to move on, then we know that he's not the right striker for the club. However, I don't think that is going to be something that will happen to Tammy Abraham. I think Tammy Abraham will look at someone like Edinson Cavani, even a Dembele or a Barbosa, and be like, this is the fire that I need to light underneath my stomach to give me even more impetus to go out on the field and deliver for Chelsea. We've seen in recent weeks, particularly that game at Arsenal, that Tammy Abraham, he's got this rapport with the fans. He likes to come over and rally up the fans, and that is exactly what I want to see from my striker. I want to see passion. I want to see determination, not just to score goals, but to bring extra elements to the team, such as mental strength, and I think Tammy's got that. So having someone like Edinson Cavani come in from PSG, again, another massive club in Europe, and by the way, I might be going to a Paris Saint-Germain game this weekend, so if we are going to bring in Cavani, and he does play any minutes, then I'll be able to get a bit of scouting done for you lot. So you'll see that video this weekend. I'm not going to Chelsea-Burnley because I'm going to Paris with PSG versus Monaco. This could be a huge signing for Chelsea. Manchester United are supposedly interested. Cavani's goal record during his career speaks for itself. He's 32. If he was 34 or 35, 5 and might be like, well, this is kind of a little bit pointless. But at 32 years old, even though he's not playing the minutes right now for PSG, we can't be clouded over by just simply blame it on his age because Kylian Mbappe's there. It's kind of like, just makes sense really. And Cavani coming in, it wouldn't be the biggest price tag in the world, which I think is another massive bonus for Chelsea, when the main striker that we have been linked with supposedly, Timo Werner, is someone who, if it is going to happen, it's probably not going to happen at all this January. It's something that might happen next summer. So bringing in someone of Edinson Cavani, who's 32 years old, we know that it's not a 5-year plan for a backup striker or competition for Tammy for the long term. Having someone like Cavani come in January, it could be seen as a similar kind of effect to what Higuain was supposed to be when he came in last January and stayed until the end of the season and didn't really set the world alight unless it was flipping Huddersfield, who are now in the flipping Championship, to say no more about that one. So I do think Edinson Cavani could be a great option. The next player we're going to go in to speak about is another player who plays in the French league. He's playing for Lyon. It's Moussa Dembele. Now this man, 10 goals in 18 games this season, started his career at Fulham, scored 19 goals at Fulham, went to Celtic in 2016. Now he's playing in Lyon, and Lyon don't want to sell him. Chelsea have apparently gone in and said, and this is all supposed, I'm not trying to deliver facts, I'm simply just regurgitating what we've all read a million times on social media. Chelsea have supposedly gone in and don't want to pay any more than 34 million euros for Moussa Dembele. Lyon have come back and said, we want 50 million euros. Now 50 million euros for a striker playing in the French league, to me, is a little bit of a gamble. If you're Chelsea, to spend 50 million, the French league is not as good as the Bundesliga. The chances are, if Chelsea really want to up the ante and go in for Timo Werner in the summer when he actually wants to leave Leipzig, if he wants to leave Leipzig, spending an extra 10 million, if we're talking 60 million for Werner, it might even be less. I don't actually think any man or his dog at the moment knows how much Werner's release clause is, so if we just say 60 million for Timo Werner and wait until the summer and bring in a Barbosa who's on this finger, or an Edinson Cavani for the meantime, that could actually be a beneficial deal for Chelsea, and we can save the money, and I honestly believe that Timo Werner would be a better signing than Moussa Dembele. I don't watch that much French football, but from what I do understand, Dembele's thought of very highly for Lyon and very highly in the French league. He's a good player, he's only 23 years of age. It's something that I would like to see, but from a personal opinion, even though he's got 10 and 18 this season, it's not a bad record, Tammy's is better, he could be coming in as Tammy's backup, but at the same time, at 23 years old, playing first team football right now for Lyon, does Dembele want to come in and play second string? I don't know, and it could potentially disrupt the apple cart a little bit. However, there is a player, and he's the final player we're going to address here in this video today, Gabriel Barbosa, also known as Gabigol to everyone else at the moment. He's been absolutely bagging in the goals for Flamengo in the Brazilian league. He's gone back to Inter Milan at the beginning of January, and now the next game he could potentially play is away at Napoli, but Inter Milan are saying that they are not that bothered if Gabriel Barbosa leaves during this window. Now, Antonio Conte's the Inter Milan manager. Supposedly, Inter Milan are keen on bringing in both Marcus Alonso and Olivier Giroud. In terms of bargaining power that this would offer Chelsea, going in with a cash sum of money, which wouldn't have to be that much for Barbosa, maybe like 10 million plus Marcus Alonso and maybe Olivier Giroud, it could actually be a really beneficial move for Chelsea. Olivier Giroud wants to leave the club because he's not getting minutes. We can all fully endorse that. Antonio Conte is a long-term admirer, of course, of Marcus Alonso. So this could be something that wouldn't see Chelsea's transfer budget dented too much, and at 23 years old, Barbosa's one of those gamble signings that could actually end up being an absolute bargain for Chelsea moving forward in the future. The man knows how to score goals. He's a left-footed striker, which for me is something that's very interesting. It would give us a brand new dynamic. It could be something that we could see. Barbosa could play alongside Tammy Abraham up front for Chelsea. It would definitely be an option, and something that I really like about Gabriel Barbosa, the kind of fiery, passionate attitude that you guys know I absolutely love in a striker. One of my favourite strikers of the Premier League era, even though he wasn't there for long, was Diego Costa. Chelsea bias 110%. If he doesn't play for your club, you're not a fan. But Diego Costa, what he brings to the football pitch was electric, and he had the ability to be able to wind up defenders to win games on his own. From what I've seen of Gabriel Barbosa, he's that kind of fiery potential figure. We could see something like that from him in a Chelsea shirt. Brazilians, when they come to the Premier League, it's either a massive hit or a massive miss. And considering it's not really gone to plan since he made his big money move to Inter Milan, it could suggest a mentality issue that Inter Milan aren't that keen on, so therefore they're willing to offload him to Chelsea. It's definitely a gamble. For me, and in terms of, I've spoken about Timo Werner hundreds of times on this channel, I think he's a brilliant striker and would be fantastic competition for Tammy Abraham and could easily lead the line on his own. Touch wood, I'm going to smack my flipping hand on the flipping coffee mat that I drink out of every once in a while. Hopefully Tammy doesn't get injured, but if he does, looking at all three of these strikers, we need to be confident that any one of the three could come in and lead the line the way that Tammy has done so well so far this season. Now, in terms of who I think would be the biggest risk, Gabriel Barbosa would be the biggest risk in terms of being confident that he'd actually be able to deliver a vast sum of goals in this Chelsea team in the Premier League. But for me, and as I always say with these videos when it comes to transfer speculation, it would be a bit pointless if I didn't give my opinion as to which transfer I would like to see go through. I would love to take a gamble on Gabriel Barbosa. Whether we lose both Batshuayi and Giroud during this January or not remains to be seen. Having Barbosa as a backup striker to Tammy, I don't think he's going to come in and upset the apple cart and try and demand that he displaces Tammy Abraham. Or we could even be looking at two strikers together. Left footer, right footer, Tammy and Barbosa. Have a little feeling that this could be a really good signing for Chelsea. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. As ever with these videos, it becomes 10 times more exciting when I get to read your comments and your thoughts on not only what I've said, but what your opinions are on how one of these three players, or all three of these players, we're probably not going to sign them all, we're definitely not signing them all, but which one do you think would have the biggest benefit on Chelsea's season and Chelsea's squad building moving forward when we look to become a team that can challenge for major trophies over the next few years? Who would you go for? Let me know in the comments down below. All three of them would be good signings. I just think that I would pick Barbosa, or I'd take a punt on Edinson Cavani, who's unhappy at PSG, wants to leave to get regular football that he's not getting right now, and at 32, I definitely still think he's got a lot to offer. Thank you guys for watching this video today. Subscribe to the George Benson Football channel if you haven't already. We're on the way to 100,000. We're creeping there slowly. And it would be great if you guys could subscribe and join the community that we've got built here. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And as I said, or I hope I said at the beginning of this video, go to the 6 Things We Learned video that I posted yesterday, drop a comment, and I might be sending you one of these special Chelsea FA Cup shirts. The FA Cup draw is tonight. We'll see who we get, but we will be wearing this shirt again, only in the FA Cup competitions. It's a beautiful flipping thing, and I will be buying it to one of you who leaves a comment on the 6 Things We Learned video, and I'll announce who it is in tomorrow's video. I'll catch you guys there. Bye-bye.